This is Pierson Farm, and I'm David Pierson. My wife and I ran this for 42 years. We have about 20 acres here, and we grow a variety of veggies and strawberries, a lot of winter squash, but a lot of other stuff, the brassicas and the vine crops and pretty much the whole deal.
I'm your host, Andy Chamberlain, and I take you behind the scenes with growers who share their strategy for achieving the triple bottom line of sustainability. These interviews unravel how they're building their business to balance success across people, profits, and our planet. One ask I have for you is if you can leave a comment or write a review. There's a feature enabled right now called Fan Mail, so you can send a message via text to the podcast right from the link in the description. These come through as anonymous, so if you want to be known or would like me to reply, let me know who you are in the message. Give it a whirl. It's quick, easy, and free, and I'd love to hear from you. Today's episode comes to you from Bradford, Vermont, where we visit with David Pierson of Pierson Farm. After 42 years of running a mixed vegetable farm to supply a roadside farm stand, with 3 acres of strawberries being one of the big draws, he was able to retire, leasing his farm to a longtime employee, Dan. We start off the episode by walking around the farm where the crew is actively planting the next round of strawberries. We check out the farm stand and reflect on the challenges of farming with today's expensive circumstances. Then he shares the benefits of getting to live up to the motto, adventure before dementia. Thanks for listening.
So yeah, we've been here this is for the farm. I leased it to Dan Bartlett 3 years ago, or it'd be 3 seasons. This is the 3rd season he's been on. And so I was running it for 42 years. The first 10, my dad was involved some, but not a whole lot. So yeah, now we have all of this, 20 acres now. And it keeps them busy, very busy. We're in Bradford, Vermont, and we're right at the intersection of Route 5 and 25, and just a quarter mile off the Interstate 91, exit 16. It's a great location. And we built the farm stand in 1985. First greenhouse was 1982, and then now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we just have 5. Well, 6 counting that little one. Yes, seems to work. So probably 75% of the stuff is retail, and what we grow, close to that. And the farm stand's open from June 1st to October 31st. Still involved in a limited capacity.
Yeah.
I say, my wife and I say, we do the fun stuff now.
Yeah, that's the way it should be at this point.
I don't have any of the problems with the help or payroll. Or
Took
any of
out
the financial
chores.
stuff is not. Don't have that stress anymore, which
Good.
is wonderful. But I like, it's been in the family since my grandfather bought this area, 1946. He came down off from the back hills of Bradford. He had a 200 and something acre hill farm, basically, and this was his retirement. He bought this place when he was 60 I believe. And so we've been here since he's been here, well, not he, but the family, since 1946.
Wow, that's cool.
And it was a retirement farm. He had 2 or 3 cows, and he planted some strawberries, and he raised a few soldier beans and sweet corn, and just dibbled and dabbled, And my dad sort of took it over and upped it to milk 30 cows, about 30, 32, depending on the season, depending on the winter. A lot of this was pasture land, hay fields, corn, rented land all over town for hay.
Yeah.
The corn was usually closer by, but yeah, he rented a lot of fields. And then I came along. I left and went to the University of Vermont said I'd never be a farmer. And 6 or 7 years later, I said, well, I had my wife, I got married, my wife and I worked for a furniture company, and they had stores outside of Philadelphia. And so we moved down there for a year to manage those. And I was a country boy. That was too many people, too much crime, it just wasn't me. And so I came back and worked with Dad and transitioned into vegetables and strawberries and started putting up a few greenhouses, and here we are today. Fortunately, I had a younger man that worked through high school and college, and then he got a real job for quite a few years, and he was working for a high-end construction home building firm. And he had some experience. He had 2 crews under him. He was working with architects and homeowners and things like that. And he said, I want to farm. So we'd hang out here on weekends, and we finally made it happen. So right now it's a lease, 7-year lease, and he bought all the farm equipment, tractors and things, but we still own the buildings and the land. And my wife and I bought 7 acres that abuts this, which we had rented for years from a neighbor lady. And she died 2 or 3 years ago, and the estate came to me and said, you should buy this whole thing. Well, there's a 4-apartment house, and I'm thinking, 68 or 9, I don't want to be a landlord.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, should have done it. I mean, the rental market is crazy.
Yeah, it's a good time for
that.
It's
a good time, and I could have got somebody to be, the guy to call if you got a problem.
Right. Fairly easy thing to outsource.
So anyway, that was a big mistake. And then the guy that bought it, we were going to buy all the farmland, and he decided to keep 1.5 acres of the prime ag land behind the buildings. But we did buy the L-shaped piece, and unfortunately, it's that big hill in the bank, which I had a logger come in and clear cut because it was darken a pocket up in that corner just to get some light in. And plus the trees were dying. There was so much dead wood in them, and so last year we had that done, and then I bought some seed. I think it's called New Hampshire hillside seed, and went up and down that steep hill. It doesn't look so bad, but I'm telling you, but I got a pretty good catch. If it's pretty green, a lot of grasses and things coming, a lot of junk too, but
at least there's something on there till the brambles take over again.
Yeah, and it'll keep from eroding down into the fields here.
Yeah,
so it's going to work out. So there's about now there's about 20 acres here. And so
you do any hay, or is that all veg production?
All veg production.
Yeah.
And we rent a little bit neighborly over there, 1.5 acres, 3/4 of an acre, and then up on the other side of the highway, it's about 10 acres we use up there. There's no water source, so we just pray and
yeah.
mostly, like sweet corn or pumpkins or something. So just
they do pretty good.
They do. We put heavy on the manures, and there's only been one couple of years where it's really sucked. But so Dan, the guy, I say kid, he's 41 now. He was a kid when he first started working here, but he's doing all this, and they've been putting out transplants to beat the band this week. And been so damn cold.
Right.
And I guess it's supposed to be 85 or 88 today, and maybe 90 or 92 tomorrow or something. So.
And it was 48
thunder showers.
Beginning of the week.
Yeah, we had 42 here the other morning. And I was over at Crossroads, talked to Phil.
Yeah.
And he said it was 33.
Woo!
Over there.
Welcome to June.
That is a cold, So and I have a quarter-acre asparagus that I put in 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So I kind of dabble with that. I keep.
That's your enterprise
That's
still.
my enterprise. I just give it to Dan, and I don't know. It's just something I did, and I kind of wanted to keep it. And he doesn't really have time to fuss with that in early May.
Yeah, right. Got everything else
Yeah.
hitting the ground.
Yeah. And this little building here was over in the yard around the farmhouse, and it's kind of going downhill. And I asked my dad, "Can we move that thing over?" Because they weren't doing anything, and it was really eyesore. So I haven't quite. We put a new roof on it, and I painted it. It needs painting again. Bought four of those windows, and I need to do 4 more. But they're about $100 a piece.
Yeah.
For something just simple like that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of nice. It was my grandfather's little shop, and this little thing was my grandfather's mailbox from about 1900 or 1915 when he had his farm up in the hills of Bradford.
That's cool.
Yeah, try to keep some of the stuff.
A little touch of history. There's some nice architecture on that, detail work.
It's kind of cool the way they. So we got 2 28 by 96 foot greenhouses with tomatoes.
Yeah.
A little small one, we just put cucumbers in. We do 1/2 a row of cucumbers in there just to get them early.
Yeah.
A little bit later we do this. He does this one to get them come in before the field cucumbers come in. And we do quite a few strawberries. We got, I guess, 3.5 acres.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Yeah. We had some trouble last year with weeds in this field here, and there's another field on the little side hill, and got them cleaned up, but then there's so much water sitting in, there's a lot of gaps. So they actually put new plants in the gaps yesterday, and now they're planting the new ones for next year.
Yeah.
But they've come back, and won't be a big crop there this year, but next year they should do really well. I don't know what's over there. I think all the row covers, a lot of them are winter squash. We do a lot of winter squash.
Yeah. Under low tunnels there to give them a boost.
Well, it keeps the striped cucumber beetle out for longer too. You don't have to try to spray them or whatever.
Yeah.
These here are maybe, what are they? Are they cukes? Or maybe there's, I don't really know what he put here. See, I'm not quite so involved, so I'm not sure sure what's what. I just come around here and I mow and I try to keep it looking good.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
And I think it does. Sometimes I've taken little trips around the state and seen some of these farms with weeds everywhere, and the fence lines are nasty, and then I feel pretty good when I come back. And I don't mean that as mean to somebody else, but it's just we're pretty visual here. I mean, we're right at the intersection of the highway, the Interstate 91, Route 25, Route 5. Yeah. So, kind of like
you're in the junction.
Keep it. Yeah.
But like you said, that helps with weed management as well.
Yeah.
Keep the grasses trimmed.
Some of these older beds. Half of this field will be the 3rd year picking, and we had a lot of winter kill. There's a little ditch that runs water comes out from underneath the highway.
Oh.
Because up on the other side, I mean, you couldn't do it now, but they filled in half of a swamp.
Yeah.
And so the other side, the water comes down, and we had a project with conservation types 25, 30 years ago, and ditched it all the way around and put in a little holding pool. And this winter, I had asked my cousin's got a excavator, and I said, "Can you get up here and clean out the ditch?" And he didn't get to it. And the weather, it was just weird. We didn't have much snow, but it was cold, and the stream doesn't run a lot. It just kept building and building and building with ice. Then it went over the bank and down into this end, and there's a lot of Well, the year before it did that. So that whole section that's plowed now, they all died.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
then there's more spots from this winter. Not as bad, but there's still some spots down there where they had winter kill. Ice was all over it.
Huh.
So anyway, got him this spring, and we got it cleaned out. So hopefully we got that problem solved for a little bit.
Yeah. So all matted row, it looks like.
All matted row.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna try. He's gonna try a little bit of plastic plugs
Yeah.
this August. Got a little spot where there's some peas now. We're land. I mean, we just don't have enough land here. He's looking to see but Gladstone, Newmont Farm has gobbled up all available land between White River and Littleton, I think. And anyway, so we got just a small, maybe put in 4 beds, and that'll be enough to keep the farm stand going a little bit earlier, which would be help to have some income earlier when it's just going out.
Yeah.
Out.
You guys do any bedded plants or anything like that in the spring?
Not much.
Yeah.
I used to more, and it got so the competition, I mean, every place around here, and it just took up too much time, and we really didn't felt we have room to put on more greenhouses, and to do it right, you got to do it fairly big.
Right.
So, no, we didn't. He does a few. He's got a few tomato plants and pepper plants. And a few herbs, and that's it. All the strawberries are on drip irrigation.
Yeah.
We switched to that about, 18 years ago. Not that we don't have a water source. We have town water, so we have all we want.
Nice.
But we just felt we weren't getting enough water to the plants. So, and now we're doing pretty much all the stuff that's on plastic has drip under it now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything here on the farm.
Single drip tape per bed. Is it?
Yep.
Is it a single row of plants or?
Single row, yeah. They spread out. But some of these fields, we've always tried to bear for 3 years, but we've been growing strawberries here for so long. It's like 60 years. I mean, and we try to rotate, but 3 years is pretty much the max that we can do, and they recommend 6 or 7. So we get what we get, and that's one of the reasons we went to drip, so we could to feed them. Now feed them every week through the drip, some calcium nitrate, which is it's easy to do, and so
keep them going a little longer.
Try to.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned this year. I mean, they started. I don't know if didn't we have a few warm days back a while ago, or it was just so cold they started. They were putting out buds, and there was no leaves hardly. I mean, little
calm down,
puny leaves, and they've come along, but this is second year, I think. No, wait a minute. Yeah, second year, yeah.
Well, they look like they're going to be loaded.
It does. I mean, they may be. The trouble with that is that it's just so much fruit that sometimes you don't get the size. So just keep pumping water.
Like
we'll just keep feeding pumping water to them, and making sure
they
they're
crowd
not,
themselves out.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's I think that variety there is Galetta. They put their blossoms right up. I hadn't really noticed
quite
that
vertical
before. Yeah.
What are your go-to or favorite varieties?
Well, I really like the flavor and the color and the way the Galettas look, but sometimes, it depends. We've had good luck with them sometimes, and sometimes we don't. These look pretty good to me. A couple of years we had some that didn't, so I don't know if it was something to do with the plants we got or what, or the spot on the farm.
Yeah, right.
Well, we haven't It hasn't been that long. 3 years, maybe 4 years.
Was that veggies prior, or did you
Yeah.
get a cover crop in there?
Yeah, well, we had, last year, all of that had, was that oats and peas? No, I think it was winter wheat. It might have been a little winter rye. We ran out and then we were using winter. He's using winter wheat more. It's a little bit easier to control in the spring. Once you plow it down, I mean, rye will, you keep fighting with it.
Yeah.
The winter wheat seems to go down better and till up. It doesn't seem to reroot or come up through like rye does.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is pretty much it.
Yeah.
In the barns, old dairy barns, which just house just equipment, and equipment shed, and equipment.
Yeah. There's a lot of that to.
Yeah, we got an apiary. Is it apiary? It's got a guy. He's got 15 beehives up here,
Whoa.
which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And so he buys honey from him, and so I think we're getting good pollination. Although some of the people, we buy bumblebees for the greenhouses, and we, for a few years before we had the bees, I would buy the quad hive put in the fields for the squash and
Yeah.
I think pumpkins and things, and they'll tell you, the bees are a better pollinator for those kind of crops, and probably they are, but they're also, every time you order one of those, it's $300 or $400. And with 15 hives, I just don't feel I need to anymore.
Yeah. Got quite a few flying insects around.
Yeah, and there's a lot of wild bees in here too.
Yeah. So when was it that you started managing
Back
all of
here,
this?
I came back here in 1979.
Yeah.
Worked with my dad for 10, 11 years. 12. He retired pretty much fully in 1992. And we changed over so that I was responsible then for all the bills. And
Yeah, right.
and for a couple of years he did some tractor work for me when he still could.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been 40. Well, this is Dan's third season. So 79.
Ooh.
46 years this year, but 43 years when I was before I transitioned to Dan. And the last 2 years I just didn't have the get up and go. I just didn't care so much. Let things slide a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, Dan wanted to do it, and I said, you got it, buddy.
40 years in?
Yeah, which is good. I think I'm lucky to have somebody because my kids are not interested at all. And I think I'm lucky to have somebody to take over.
Yeah, that's a hard part. A lot of people struggle to find that.
Yeah. I'd like to keep it going. My dad passed in January. We're in the process now, lawyers and surveyors and getting stuff, changed over and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And my hope is that the Vermont Land Trust will be interested.
So was it all still in his name?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He would never. He says, why do you want to buy it? Or you're going to get it anyway. Which is true.
Fair enough.
Except he lived to be 95, almost 96. So
now you got to deal with all of that afterward.
Yeah. Which it's fine.
Yeah.
So when this gets settled, then I will contact them and see what they think. I don't know what their funding is. I have but who did we work with Land for Good? You must
Was it
know
Mike Gia?
Mike Gia. He said, I think Vermont Land Trust would be very interested in this land where it is here.
Yeah.
He said, well, they usually have a 20-acre minimum. Now we have 21.
There you go.
So
of sandy, active farmland.
Yeah, with the exception of the hill and the bank.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, all farmland.
It's in production. It's not like it got left and neglected and it's still pumping.
Still pumping out food.
What's been one of your most, like, what's a day when you felt really successful farming?
Nothing broke down. No problems. The weather was cooperating. When you like had a good harvest of, say, strawberries, or the sweet corn came in when you wanted it to, and it was good, and you got the applications, so there's no worms in the corn, and when things were, the way they should be. That was a good day when I did that, and the farm stand was very busy, and there's always the money part of it too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah, when the customers came and everything was going pretty well, we had enough help. We started having Jamaican labor. This is the 20th year, in 2005. Yeah, 2005. None of the original guys, well, I say that, none of the original guys are here, except the guy driving the tractor is the son of one of the originals. And there is one guy that immigrated, he and his family, to New York. And he's not in the program anymore, but he comes up.
Oh, nice.
For like 6 or 8 weeks. It's strawberry picking, peas, beans, weeding, whatever. He was one of the original. So, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do this without the Jamaican labor.
Yeah.
They're with everything. I know Dan shakes his head every year. They go up on with the ADWAR, the Department of Labor tells you what you have to pay the hourly wage, and it just keeps going up and up and up and up.
Right.
Now I think it's almost $19 an hour, which you can't get locals to do this kind of work. So
even for that,
yeah, and so you just have to deal with it. And have to house them, have to pay their way up and back, and it's a big expense, but they're worth it.
Yeah.
They're worth it.
What was your average crew size?
Oh, when I didn't have them, usually there was 3 or 4 out in the field. I worked 80-something hours a week. And then during berry season, we had kids picking. So sometimes there was as many as 12 or 14, and it was just, talk about stress.
That's a lot.
It's like babysitting. Unbelievable. And I know Pooh Sprague said, you got to get some Jamaicans. You will sleep better at night. And I did. And he was right.
Learn some Spanish.
Yeah. Oh, Jamaicans are English speaking mostly.
Yeah.
Well, they have their own, like, patois or something. Which,
right.
And even after 20 years, I can't understand them. I said, slow down, guys. But yeah, they're great. They're just like part of the family now.
What's he have for a crew now? 3 Jamaicans?
Just 3, and then the other guy comes up for 6 weeks or something.
Any locals or no? No.
Just in the farm stand.
Yeah.
And that's a different level. You don't have to pay them the same rate. But that's getting, I know he's struggling.
It's climbing.
It's climbing.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. I mean, when kids can go wait tables and make a couple $100 a night.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to compete with that. So you have 15-year-olds, and they're on certain hours they can work, certain hours they can't.
Right.
But what you got to do.
Right. What's the time when you felt really challenged farming?
For me, the most challenging time is getting to spring startup, because everything is outgoing financially.
Yeah.
And you're 2 months at least before you make a penny. And it's really stressful. And never got around to doing the CSA thing. Probably silly I didn't, but I just thought it was one more thing to do in the spring and
manage yep.
and do a good job, and so we never did it. But that's probably the hardest part, and I think Dan's feeling that too. I said, don't stress too much. You can stress, but not too much. It'll come around.
Have trust that the customers come back.
Yeah. Just keep working hard, and things will turn out okay. Been here long enough, so we have a pretty good customer base.
That's good. Yeah. Is it all retail out of the farm store stand here?
Well, we do have some wholesale accounts. There's a few. We go to Woodstock, and we do certain things for the co-ops. You know, that's all. Like Edgewater has a big chunk of it, and Crossroads has a big chunk. And all we do really is the green beans and wax beans.
Okay.
Which is pretty substantial, but not like it was 10 years ago. It's off a little bit. But then we do squash. We have all the squash, winter squash for the co-ops too. So we do a lot of squash.
Have you seen the marketplace change over your career? Do you think there's been many shifts or swings, or have you changed your model at all? A whole lot?
Not too terrible. Not really. Well, we're bringing in more things to sell. We've got meats now and dairy. And I didn't have that when we first started. You know, a lot of the locals, maple syrup, the honey, a lot of that kind of stuff. And it's a pretty good sizable amount we do.
Yeah.
And we buy things and we don't grow or don't have access to. We buy through Black River Produce. And they've been pretty good, although it's different now. It's been sold 2 or 3 times, and it's a big corporate thing now, so it's not as easy to deal with them. But I think, they were buying some surplus stuff from us, but not. Pick Your Own is kind of faded, and it's come back a little, but not the way it used to be. There's not a lot of the older generation that would come in and pick 50 pounds or something. That they're not there anymore. It's just younger people buying a half a tray or something just for a day or two's consumption.
Yeah, as something to do rather than filling freezers.
More of a family outing. Yeah. But it's all part of it. So makes a nice. It's a pretty nice spot to come with your family.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
and you're not right on the highway either. The fields are set back, so it's an easy flat walk from where you park, and it's a good location. What does sustainable farming mean to you, and what were you doing to achieve it?
Well, sustainable is being able to produce a crop with minimal inputs. People get scared of pesticides and things, and rightly so, but we're doing just the minimum to be able to produce a crop that you can put out to sell. And I think doing a good job with that, and I haven't found for us a way to go completely organic, although a lot of the fields we don't use anything on.
Yeah.
But some we do, and to me that's just what we have to do to be competitive and to be able to put a good looking crop on the stand to sell. A lot of this stuff is pretty old and will be I'm gonna upgrade it, and we've recovered these 2 greenhouses. That one's gonna be recovered. One of those is gonna be recovered as soon as we get all the plants out of it. And, so there's 2 plantings of tomatoes, and we just do inside. Pretty much sell most of them retail. It's just You don't have to spray. I mean, we just do organic practices in here.
Yeah.
So I always thought outside was, you're just spraying for blights and things all the time and kind of control everything in here. Trouble is, you got to keep at these. I mean, they need to be gone through and clipped and suckered and everything again now, but they're trying to get all the crops out. It's just not enough hours in a day.
Yeah. Well, especially when it's first week of June and we're pushing 90 degrees, things are just leaping.
Yeah.
Everything's
weeds
and plants alike.
This stuff here needs to be all, and they're tall enough now, so you probably need a step ladder to. It is, yeah.
So what do you use this little shed for?
Just storage, basically. I don't know. I have ideas of. My grandfather used this as a workshop, and he used to have a little wood stove in there, and you'd go in there and the thing would be cherry red. It's a wonder that it didn't burn down at some point. So when we moved it over here and put a new roof on, we took down the chimney and everything. And yeah, it's just. And I used this as a pesticide storage place for a while, but then I cleaned it all up and we brought it up here. It's just for storage. And now there's some tires in there now.
Yeah.
But
Just
some of his stuff.
Classic little old shed.
Yep. And I've been told that at one point in the turn of the century, people that owned this property, the guy was he didn't farm, he was they called him a Raleigh man, which was like full of brush type of thing back in the turn of the century. And this was his little, so we call this the tea house. This was his little storage shed. Yeah, my grandfather's. We kept all these tins and things. I don't know, I may put another set of drawers in here and kind of clean it out a little bit. And just use it as a little workshop. And
yeah. I like that little hutch there.
yeah, that came from my in-laws' barn or shed. And they lived in Thetford. Yeah, and that's a kind of cool thing.
Yeah. Just old.
It's old.
Yep.
Everything's old.
Everything's old.
This is where the
Yeah.
stovepipe went out in the chimney.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had to put a whole new roof on. It was funny, the structure was, there was nothing like 2 foot on center.
Yeah.
It was 3 feet, 3.5 feet, 2.5 feet. So nothing was.
It's all eyeball.
Yeah, apparently. Come Dan. We finally looked at. We were spraying the beans, and what a smart thing. And the peas. I never did that.
Yeah.
And they were a mess.
Yeah.
And now he looked up and he says, we could spray the peas. I said, go for it. So, there's hardly a weed in them.
Nice.
So that's another reason I'm not organic. I just can't. The labor's I don't see how you can do it. But we try.
So you're growing peas on the flat, or do you trellis them once they get a little
No, they're
taller?
just the 18-inch or 2-foot ones, and they flop over, and that's it.
Yeah.
No trellis. That's too much labor.
Yeah.
And the Jamaicans can pick peas fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that the primary tractor, the 5075?
Yeah, that's it. That's the newest one on the farm.
What year is that one?
God, it's got to be going on 8 years now.
Yeah.
I think I had a 5-year loan, and when Dan took this over in 23, I made my last payment. Well, we have a Kubota that's, well, I bought that in 2000, I think.
Yeah.
It's a 80. It's 80 horsepower.
Yeah.
But we put smaller tires on it just so we could do more work in the rows and
Yeah.
things, and we love that tractor. It's just keeps going. We never had a, knock on wood,
Yeah.
never had a bit of trouble with it. It's just a workhorse. But he bought all that equipment, and so yeah, it's a nice tractor. It's just new enough so it's got all the gadgets on it, you know. It just, like yesterday, he says, I got to leave it running. It's doing the burn thing where it does the burn for the, I don't know,
DEF,
some filter, yeah.
clean out, yeah.
It doesn't have, you don't have to use DEF, but there's
Okay.
something that burns the carbon up or something, and
Yeah.
some filter where the temperatures get like, 500 degrees or something. And well, I didn't realize you're supposed to leave it running, and a few years ago, you know, you just shut it off.
Yeah.
You know, when we were done using it, shut it off. Well, after a few times, all of a sudden, it would barely run. Didn't have any power. So I had to call the John Deere dealer, and he hooked it up to the computer. You know, $350 later,
Yeah.
it was running fine. So he said, don't shut it off when it's doing the burn.
Yeah.
So now we know.
It's all plugged up.
Yeah, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we built this in 1985, the farm stand, and I think the next year put on a bigger porch in the back kitchen. And this year we've made a few changes again. We're trying to do more, just bring in more stuff that'll sell local stuff.
Round it out.
Yeah. Dan would like to, he was telling me his plan would be to take that little greenhouse, which we haven't used for several years, put it on the other end of the porch and build a wash facility out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off of this end.
Build up,
wash back off this side.
Put up a real wooden, wood structure.
Yep.
I will say, I mean, I'm all for it. But I don't know, I think I have to contact Efficiency Vermont because I know there's money out there. These produce cases we bought used. We built it in 86, probably 81 in 85 and another one in 86. And they came out of a grocery store up in Woodsville, New Hampshire. So who knows how old they are, although it was new downstairs, new compressors and everything. We actually replaced at least one of the compressors we've replaced. But there's got to be more efficient. I mean, the electric bill here goes sky high when you turn these babies on.
I bet.
But now we have 2 chest freezers for the meats and upright freezer. He's got the Walpole ice cream and then a refrigerated unit for local dairy and eggs and then we get, right now, nothing here, but when we get our lettuces and peppers and cukes and all the other stuff, that'll be full. And we got some baked goods and it works.
Yeah. No, this is a nice farm store.
The only problem was when we built it, we didn't insulate it enough, the ceiling. Why do you need to insulate a farm stand? I mean, the walls have just 3.5 inch.
Yeah, you put a little something in while you were at it, but
and it was like 1/2 inch solid, foil backed stuff. Not enough. And I think the second or third year, it was open and we just put the boards. And we did that. And that was our own lumber. Most of this, my dad and I cut the lumber for this building.
Makes it special.
He's got he had a couple hundred acres up called Wrights Mountain, which is out. It's like 5 miles out, 25, and then you go up a dirt road. And I think I put the skylights in a few years later, just get more light in. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is. I like it.
Nice thing is, I bought the house next door, which was my dad. I grew up in it, and then a few years later, we put a second story on. But
Oh, yeah.
so I've pretty much lived there my whole life. It's kind of nice. You get up and walk out the door to go to work.
Yeah, right.
No commuting time here.
Well, I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, probably I'll keep my hand in this place as long as I can.
Who's been an inspiration, mentor, or influence for you?
Oh gosh, all the guys in the Upper Valley. You know, we pretty close group. Pooh, Jake, Tim Taylor. We just sort of talk to each other and see what are you doing, you know, how you doing it, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But when I first started, gosh, I remember going to places all over the state just to see what they were doing, what their farm stands were like. And I know when I was first starting with strawberry production, I used to talk a lot with Hezzy Summers, which I think he died last year, a couple of years ago maybe. I think his grandkids are running the farm up in Barnett now. But I was with him and the extension. Ed Booton was the extension agent back then, and used to talk to him a lot and come over. We've had on-farm visits here, and so a lot of things. I went to every meeting that I could, and I didn't really know anything about growing crops.
Yeah.
Pretty long learning curve to learn all this stuff.
Yeah. Did your dad teach you a whole lot, or were you really just kind of farming beside him?
Farming beside
Yeah.
him. He was from the old school, and he never went to any meetings, never did anything like that, you know, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, I just wasn't him. He'd milk cows, and he was done.
Right. That was
I mean,
his
he had
thing.
a few strawberries, 3/4 of an acre, or maybe an acre at one time, but all one variety. It's what the old guys used to grow, and
more cows in a garden.
yeah, right, yeah. So yeah, I think he was pleased with what I'd done. But I remember last year, or 2 years ago, when he was living with my brother and sister-in-law, when I was talking about retiring, quote, he says, well, I don't know what he wants to retire for. Of course, he was 62 pretty much when and I took over. So, you know, 30-something, 35 years ago.
In the same boat.
Yeah. And he was going to Florida every winter for 28 years.
Wow,
and
yeah.
So, yeah, you didn't know why I wanted to retire. I said, geez, I'm getting tired. Retire and getting tired. So, yeah, it was fine. He finally, I guess, got over it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
And last summer, it was really good. The farm stand was good. We hadn't had all the labor fussing with strawberries that the weeds got out of control, but because they closed the south lane on I-91 for most of the summer, everything came by here. You know, there's no way to know exactly how many people came in just because of that, but it was up.
Yeah.
I mean,
that doesn't hurt.
It wasn't, you know, tremendous, but it was a help.
Yeah.
So.
Construction in your favor that season. If you were just gonna restart farming now, would you do the same thing, or would you do it completely differently?
Probably wouldn't do it at all. I know that's no. I think because I started with my family, my dad. I didn't have a mortgage, and that was I was paying rent to him, pretty good rent, but I don't know if I could have done it.
Yeah.
I don't know how these kids do it. I really don't. It's hard. And I mean, we're fortunate we had this location.
Yeah, right.
And I lobbied with my dad even before I came back. The year before, I was outside of Philadelphia working for another company, and I was going to farm stands down there and taking pictures. And I go, this is what I want. This is basically what I took pictures of in a farm stand outside of Philadelphia, up in Montgomery County. And I lobbied for him, and he said, yeah, I guess we got to do something. And he had just sold some property that he had, and so he put the money into this. So I thank him for that.
Yeah.
You know, over the years, the rent paid handsomely for this building because there was nothing growing but a three-quarters acre of berries.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So.
But that was supporting his retirement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That was what he always said. Well, I don't want to sell it. I like it this way.
Yeah.
So finally, about, just see, 2012, finally went to a lawyer and got this place in a trust. So it's a good thing we did.
Yeah.
They did something, and then they had a special. My mom went into a rest home, and they had the lawyer called it a Medicaid trust, or LBJ trust, or something, so that Medicaid couldn't come back after it.
Oh, that.
So that was like to work your whole life and then have it snatched out from under you.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't kick you off, but if you ever go to sell it, they're first in line.
Yeah.
They're first in line in probate.
Yikes.
So, something to think about. Anybody that's...
It's a good reminder.
So, I don't know. I don't have any plans to sell it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to investigate the land trust, and a lot of guys have.
Yeah.
See what they value at.
Right.
Value it at. I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty valuable. But
What advice would you give to a beginning farmer who's trying to make a go of it?
You got to have some markets before you start, and you got to go to meetings. I mean, it's different today with the listserv and everything. But all these young guys, they put out, what do I do? They're asking the rest of us questions, which is fine, but you got to go and find out for yourself. Go visit farms. Go find out where the meetings are. Go to all of them. You got to have a lot of knowledge. In today's times, you just can't do it. I mean, you got to have the knowledge. You got to have the markets. You can't just throw seeds in the ground and think, oh, where am I going to get rid of this stuff? And
Right.
it's difficult, and you're like trying to take a piece of the pie away from the established places, and I don't know. It's like I said, I didn't. My kids really didn't have much interest in this anyway, but I would not want them to do this. It's just it's a way of life. It's not just a job.
Right.
So I don't know if I could properly advise any younger people endorse this. It's fortunate, the land we have and the location, but if I was off, some dirt road somewhere,
Right.
You button heads with everybody else to try to get into a wholesale account or something. It's just dog eat dog, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we all get along really well, all of us, the guys in the Upper Valley, which is nice. So, but I don't know about other places,
Yeah. How did that work out? You mentioned your biggest mentors are all your friends right here in the Upper Valley. That's a lot of other farms of pretty good size, all not too far away. How'd you foster that relationship to be friendship and not competition?
Well, I don't know.
Or was it friendly competition?
It's friendly. I guess it's friendly competition, but we don't step on each other's toes. I've had good relations with Crossroad and with Jake. He's one of my good friends, and we just know what the other's doing. And if they're short, sometimes they'll call me. Do you have any extra this or that? Can you take it to the co-op? And that's just the way we work.
Yeah.
And it's been great. It's been great. So I'm just easygoing anyway. So I don't get too upset about stuff.
Do you have a particular tool or piece of equipment that you just couldn't live without?
Well, the older things that we use, I mean, we have an old Powell transplanter, and we've had that thing since I started. In fact, I bought Pooh's one, which was 1 year older, but we use them both for different things. And I don't know, equipment's expensive too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my dad was still with me then doing that. And I think the first year I came back, so that would have been 79, we bought that Powell planter from Norse Farms.
No, okay.
He was a dealer for Powell. And I don't think it was more than $495.
Which would have been expensive back in 79.
79, but before that, my dad would have 3 or 4 old guys, and they'd plant berries, put in a stake and a string, measure between the rows, and they had a strawberry axe, which is like an axe head pointing down and a welded handle on it. And so you just stepped on that. And and every foot or every 16 inches, it
jab them down.
Gap them. Guys would bend over, put them in, tuck the roots in, go like this with their foot and stamp them in. But all those old guys died.
Yeah.
So the Powell was, and then we use it for broccoli and cauliflower, all those kind of things, even onions.
Yeah.
It's a little tricky with onions. But and then the other one,
line it up right.
We don't have a potato planter, so we take the discs off and just use it, and just throw potatoes down in the hole, because we don't grow that many.
With the Powell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird, but
it's a little trencher, but it works.
Yeah.
And you use what you got.
Use what you got. Everything's expensive.
Yeah. What do you do outside of farming to disconnect?
Well, we've got 3 grandchildren, so they're into sports. So we're going to basketball games, softball games, soccer games during the school year, and in the summer I just help out here on the farm, and I've been doing deliveries to we do stores, pick up stuff, go up to the dairy and pick up stuff, and just keep mowing and keep things looking decent. And but we some friends that we're probably be more apt to go see, because I don't have to be here.
Yeah.
And like we just went to Nantucket. A friend of mine from college has a house there. We went down for about a week and worked, helped him open up, did landscaping on their property down there, and it was fun. We just, when you don't have to do it, it's fun.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
And one of our best friends that lived in town forever, like me, they just moved to southern New Hampshire, so we'll probably go visit them now and then. And my best friend from high school, another best friend, lives in Kentucky. We're going down there in September for a week. He also just got a place in Florida, and we spent 6 weeks at his place in Florida, and a bunch of friends through him that we know that have boats, and so it's kind of nice. So yeah, I'm just trying to do more. We're going to do more traveling and see the country and stuff.
That's good.
While we can.
Absolutely.
We got these patches on our backpacks that say "Adventure before dementia." I remember Jake Guest telling me 4 3 or 4 years ago, I was talking about retirement, and he said, do it. And my wife was saying, you need to retire before you can't do anything. And Jake said, listen to your wife. I should have retired 10 years earlier.
Thinking back to when you started farming, what was easy then or hard then that may be completely different, maybe easy to do now or got harder now?
Well, when we first started, we were milking cows too for the first 5 years. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Well, it's easier to get money to take out loans, but it may be harder to pay for that.
It's a good one.
I don't know, everything's changed. Just the vendors, most of the vendors that used to have a relationship with the owners and things. Like Black River, for instance. I used to know the head of guy that I talked to order stuff. Mark Curran was one of the owners, and Steve, I can't think of his last name now, but I had a relationship with them. They weren't my friends, but you could call up and talk to them, how you doing? And it's all different. I mean, it's some mega corporation owns them now, and so just dealing with things and all these people, you know, if you're lucky, you get 30 days to pay a bill.
Yeah.
Sometimes most of the time now it's on delivery, which didn't used to be. Yeah. Just when you got around to it, sort of, you know, no, you couldn't just leave it for a long time, but it was just friendlier, easier. So that's different. The equipment is so expensive. Anything new, it's just crazy. But yeah, we have a lot of old equipment too, and he bought for, you know, I didn't charge him very much for the old stuff. You know, a couple $100 for 3-bottom plow, and
you got a good deal on stuff.
Yeah. But I did the tractors. I just talked to the dealer, and he's got a used equipment book that they tell you.
What's the trade-in price?
Yeah. And so I went by that on some of the stuff. So, yeah. But he's got a big payment, I know, on that equipment too.
Yeah. 7
years. Doing it again, I probably would have kept the quote mortgage on the equipment. It would have been probably better for him, and because he was paying like 7.5%, and I know I would have done it for like 4.5%. Right. But that would have been income coming in over 7 years.
That would have been.
Yeah, but stupid. But anyway, no. Well, actually, a lot of the money, or some of the money I bought that piece of property with. So, or I would have been paying 6 or 7%.
Right. Instead, you got an upfront check.
Yeah.
Right.
So
which isn't bad either.
It worked out.
Yeah. Well, that was the list of my questions. Is there anything else that you'd like to share or talk about while we're here today?
I mean, like I said before, if it was young people, and I didn't want my kids to do this. It's just, but if somebody wants to do it, it's a hard go. I don't know if there's any seed money out there. Probably not much, is there? If any?
Yeah, that's not this season either.
Well, yeah, especially now.
Just got a lot harder.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I don't really have anything more to say that's worth anything.
Well, it's been great visiting with you, hearing about your farm.
Yeah.
So thanks for showing me around and chatting.
All right, Andy.
Thank you. Yeah. Have a good one.
Yeah.
And that was the Farmer's Share. I hope you enjoyed this episode with David Pierson of Pierson Farm. The Farmer's Share is supported by a grant offered by the USDA Specialty Crop Block Program from the Vermont Agency of Agriculture, Food, and Markets. This funding helps to cover some of my time and travel in order to produce this podcast until March of 2026. The USDA Agricultural Marketing Service supports projects that address the needs of U.S. specialty crop growers and strengthens local and regional food systems. I have no doubt that this podcast will meet those needs and help educate growers to support the industry. If you enjoy this show and want to help support its programming, you can make a one-time or reoccurring donation on our website by visiting thefarmershare.com/support. This show is also supported by the Ag Engineering program of the University of Vermont Extension. We also receive funding from the Vermont Vegetable and Berry Growers Association. The VVBGA is a nonprofit organization funded in 1976 to promote the economic, environmental, and social sustainability of vegetable and berry farming in Vermont. Their membership includes over 400 farms across Vermont and beyond, as well as about 50 businesses and organizations that provide products and services of all types to their members. Benefits to members include access to the VVBGA listserv to buy, sell plants and equipment, share farming information, and tap the vast experience of our growers. Access the community accreditation for produce safety, also known as CAPS. This program is designed for growers, by growers, to help you easily meet market and regulatory food safety expectations. You can access the VVBGA's soil health platform, where you can organize all the soil tests and create and store your soil amendment plans and records. Access to webinars for growers in the VVBGA annual meeting. An email subscription to the Vermont Vegetable and Berry newsletter. Camaraderie, enhanced communication, and fellowship among commercial growers. Memberships are on a per farm, per calendar year basis, and annual dues this year are $80. These funds pay for the organization's operating costs and support educational programs and research projects. These funds also support projects that address grower needs around ag engineering, high tunnel production, pest management, pollinators, produce safety, and soil health. Become a member today to be a part of and further support the veg and berry industry. You can visit thefarmershare.com to listen to previous interviews or see photos, videos, or links discussed from the conversation. If you don't want to miss the next episode, enter your email address on our website and you'll get a note in your inbox when the next one comes out. The Farmer's Share has a YouTube channel with videos from several of the farm visits. We're also on Instagram, and that's where you can be reminded about the latest episode or see photos from the visit. Lastly, if you're enjoying the show, I'd love it if you could write a review. In Apple Podcasts, just click on the show, scroll down to the bottom, and there you can leave 5 stars and a comment to help encourage new listeners to tune in. I'd also encourage you to share this episode with other grower friends or crew who you think would be inspiring for them. Thanks for listening.